For the gloves, I have a reference image that I'd like to use. I'm going to go ahead and close these up by right-clicking here and clicking Join Area and moving the mouse up and clicking. And then let's bring in a new image here. I've got an image of Scarlet Witch from the Marvel Universe, but it's a scale model. It's like a toy, and it's just amazing, the detail here. But it gives a really good image of kind of what I'm looking for here. I don't want to get all of this detail down right now, and I don't really even want all of it in the final, but I do want this kind of seam here. So let's take a look at how to create that. First of all, I'm going to select this, and I don't need the mirror modifier on while I work on this. And I'll frame it up with the period key. And actually, I'll also hit the division key on the numpad and isolate it here so I can just see this. So the first thing I'd like to do is create a seam along this part. You can see that here. I might move a couple of points. I still have my proportional editing tool on, so I'll hit O to turn that off. And I just want to move a couple of these points up just to kind of bring them up more in line, because this is going to be the line of the seam right here. Something like that. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is bevel this so that I can pull an edge in and create kind of a seam, hint at a seam. So I'll switch to edge mode and I'll alt click this edge here. I'll deselect this and let's give this a try. So what I want to do is I'll press Control E just to bring up the edges menu, and you can see that the bevel tool is Control B. So I'll press Control B and then I'll move the mouse out just a little bit, and you can see it's kind of spreading that edge apart like that. Now I'll come over here to the bevel settings and increase the number of segments in that bevel. I'll just increase that to 2, and that gives me an edge right down the center there. So I'm going to use that to pull in a bit. What I need to do, however, is create an edge right here, I think. Let me see if I can do that. Let me deselect this and hit K, and I'll just knife an edge here to here and hit Enter. No, that didn't work. Let me try that again. I may need to pull this out. Sometimes if they're not in line, it makes it difficult to create an edge. So I'll press K again and click here and pull it down to here. And let's see if we can get that. There we go. Now we've got that edge there. Alright, so now what I'll do is grab that edge once again. I don't need this selected, and I don't need this selected here. I think now I can just grab this and pull it in. I'll just pull it in the y-axis like this. Something like that. Alright, let's go around and do that on the other side. Let's go with this one right here. I'm going to line these up a little bit better. Select that edge, Control B, and click, and now select that one edge, and let's pull it in some. Deselect that, deselect that, and let's pull it in the y-axis a little bit like that. Alright, so now we've got those two seams. Let's go ahead and add a subdivision surface modifier and see how it looks. So I'll come over here, add modifier, subdivision surface, bring the views up to 2, and I'll tab into object mode and hit the smooth shading here. Now we can add a few more edge loops to kind of tighten these edges up. If I press Control R and add an edge up here, maybe I could press Control R and add an edge around here, and you can see I'm having a little trouble getting an edge through here and here because these are not quads. These are not four-sided polygons. And that's okay. Once again, I can knife my way through there. I'm going to go ahead and click this button here to make the edit cage conform to the mesh. And maybe, let's see if I can use the knife tool to go here to here. And we'll do the same from here to here. And then maybe, let's try this. I don't know if this will work, but if we go here to here, 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 and then up to there, there we go. We have a nice clean line around that now. And it looks like we could take this edge now and move it in even more, or even move them closer together. So let me just grab this edge here and I'll pull it in some. Here. Let's pull it in a bit first. Like that. And then, let's see how it looks. Oh yeah, that's looking pretty good. Okay. And this one over here, maybe we'll pull this one in a little bit more as well. Let's try that. Yeah, okay, that looks pretty good. Let's also add an edge loop down here. Control R, let's add one here. Now we're having the same issue with an edge loop going through an n-gon, or a polygon that is more than 4 sides. So let's see if we can once again knife our way out of this. Maybe going here to here, let's see. Okay, yeah. And maybe going from here to here. There we go. Yeah, that looks pretty good. So that's all I really wanted. I wanted just to clean it up, smooth it up, and add a few seams here. Let's go ahead and hit the division key to come out of the isolation mode. And now let's take a look at this glove here. Now, the finger or hand part of the glove is still a part of the body. So let's separate the glove out before we begin working on it. I'll tab into edit mode and I'll just hover over a point and hit the L key to select all the linked components. And I'll press P and separate. Now if we tab back into object mode and select it, you can see it's its own piece now. We don't, once again, need the mirror on for this, so I'll turn that off. I'll just delete it with the X here. And now let's go ahead and work on this a bit. I'll leave the hand here so I can see how it's fitting around the fingers. Let me hit the loop cut and slide that edge there. All right. Let's also add one here, so that tightens that edge up just a little bit. And then let's go in and figure out what points we can maybe pull out around the finger. So maybe these we could pull out, something like this. So I'm just going through and trying to find points that I can kind of clean up, pull out, get in place. Let me see about this here. This doesn't look, this looks like it's a little too far back on the finger. Let me grab these faces here, or I will alt click between two of the faces there and bring that down just a bit like that. There we go, that's a little bit better. Let's take a look at any points around the bottom of the fingers here. Maybe we could use edges and pull these down some, like this. There we go. All right, so we've got that glove more of the kind of shape that I'm looking for and a little bit more cleaned up. So now let's take that and combine it with the gauntlet here to make the glove all one piece. So I'll select the glove and shift click the gauntlet here, and now let's press Ctrl J, and now that's all one piece. Let's find it in the outliner here by hovering over this and pressing the period key, and that will highlight the object right here just like it will in the 3D view. And it's the proper name. I've got Gauntlet High, so that's good. Now let's add a mirror modifier to it. Add mirror, and I'll bring the mirror up to the top here. There we go. All right, so now we have the gloves pretty well in place. There's going to be more to do when we begin texturing this, but for now I think that's really all I wanted to get into the actual high resolution model. So in the next video, let's start working on the boots.